They say it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey, which is true. Because you got two great fighters like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Both arrived at the same destination, but they had two completely different journeys. And these two journeys is what's going to make for a thrilling fight and what's going to make for a decidedly overbearing outcome. I'm going to break it down for you. This your boy Upper Echelon. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And I'm going to keep dropping this fire for you. So let's get it. You get Jaws out there. Now you think it's safe. No, Jaws ain't the epitome of greatness. There's something out there much bigger. Yes, you got it. And here comes Superbud. Come through to snatch it up. All is well in the world, right? Or wrong. You forget the Megalodon. Bud might have caught Jaws in the ichthyosaur, but he ain't ready for the Megalodon. And that's the big Spence, the Megalodon. Matter of fact, he ain't even a Megalodon. Errol Spence is the biggest. How can you measure what ain't been measured before? Captain Ahab reaching out fishing. You gonna catch something that you ain't mean to catch right there, because you can't catch the uncatchable, the Leviathan. Earl, the true Spence, strap season, man down, smoking on Bud tour. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it. I want you to be honest, and don't you lie. Don't you think of lying. Be for real. You not a Bud Crawford fan. You just hate Spence, right?
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
So Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford both started out two great athletes. While Errol worked as much as fundamentals, Bud was more flashy. He was quick, skilled, had pop in his hands, but Errol, his journey took a different route. Errol, who started in a Mexican gym where he was probably him and probably another person was the only black people there. If I'm not mistaken, he was the only black guy there. And they taught them, we go to war. So Earl learned that Arturo Gatti, that Julio Cesar Chavez, that Eric Morales, that Marco Turner Barrera, we gonna stand here and we gonna throw blows type fighting style. Earl learned how to fight. Not box, but he learned how to fight. Then he got with Derrick James and honed them skills. He also started working on that jab. He learned how to move around the ring. You know, he also went to the Olympics. And that increased his fundamentals tenfold in the amateurs. Errol Spence comes out the amateurs and they pick his fights. He's not fighting no sorry ass opponents. Errol Spence is fighting opponents that's going to help him beat the next opponent. He's fighting opponents that's going to help in the long run. He's not eating no meaningless calories. What he's doing, he's eating food that's substantial and it's going to benefit him. When he comes out, he fights a Jonathan Garcia who was 3-3. Then he fights Richard Andrews, Nathan Butcher, then Luis Tomez, Brandon Hoskins, who was 14-1. Then he go against Elmer Barrera, who's 11-3. Jesus Tavera, who was 5-3. Then on his ninth fight, he fought a step-up fight against a 15-0 power-hitting Emmanuel Arte and beat him. Then he fought Eddie Cordova, Guardo Corveres, Peter Oluch. Then he started fighting people like Raymond Charles, Ronald Cruz, who was 20-3. Then Nole Bolanos, who was 24-10, but he was a very strong fighter. He fought Francisco Castro, who was 27-7, but was a power hitter. Then Earl gets to Samuel Vargas, who was 20-1, a hard-hitting, hard-fighting Mexican who made Earl step up his game. Then Phil LaGreco, who was 26-1. Earl had to dig deep and go to the body in that fight. Chris Van Heerden, who was 23-1, a tall, rangy fighter who had a jab as well. So as Earl is fighting these fighters, he's developing his jab, he's developing ring generalship. He's also breaking them down to the body, because what Earl knows is a body shot will go a long way. Because once you put that body shot out in, it's like putting money in the bank. is sitting there for investment purposes. It's gaining interest. And Errol has a very accurate shot. He has a way of making his punches land in the same spot. Like from any angle from where he throw, he makes them shots land in the same spot. Then he fought Alejandro Guerrero, who was 26-2. Then former champion Chris Algiers, who was 21-2. So Errol Spence is going through, and not only is he fighting these people, he's stopping them. And these are top-notch guys. Then he steps in there with Leonard Bundu, who was 33-1. Leonard Bundu gave Errol a test. He was switching stances until Errol put him in the dirt. Then his biggest challenge was Kell Brook, who was 36-1. Errol was down 4-2 in the 7th round when Sean Porter commented. Then Errol, he had reached his limit. See, iron sharpens iron. And you got to get iron is most hottest. It's most to that temperature where it's about to break, where it's more malleable. And see, Errol was that iron that was heated to his most highest level. And he didn't break what he did. He succeeded and moved to a different level. He became a better product. He turned into steel. He's steel now. He done elevated. He done changed. He done metamorphed. Now he has a higher ceiling. Now his ceiling is that much higher. Now he gets to build to see how this character is. Then he fought a 35-5 Lamont Peterson, who was a slick fighter that gave Floyd Mayweather problems. And Errol had already gotten in the ring with Floyd. And getting in the ring with Floyd, that's like 10 years of knowledge right there in 5 sessions, in 5 minutes. And Errol got that knowledge. Then 22-0 Carlos Ocampo, he stopped with a vicious array of body shots. Didn't even make it out the first round. Then 39-0 Mikey Garcia, who was supposed to be such a great counterpuncher, who was supposed to have this power, who was supposed to be the next coming. Errol beat him from pillar to post all 12 rounds. Not 11-2, the 10-2, 11-1, no, all 12 rounds. Then he beat 30-2 Sean Porter and made it difficult because he said, I'm going to fight his style and beat him at that. Errol could have sat back on the edge and fight for his other style where he boxed and outpointed Sean and had an easier day, but no. Errol seen the style that Sean Porter had and how Sean Porter gives everybody difficulties. No matter who you is, Sean Porter's going to give you difficulties. So Errol was like, I need to get that style and put it in my repertoire. And for 10 rounds, Errol Spence cloned Sean Porter's style, and now by the 11th round, he turned it into his own style. He made it better, and he dropped Sean Porter in the 11th round because Errol Spence gets stronger as each round goes. He's used to fighting 16 rounds with 4 different sparring partners, each one of them fresh, and finishing up the sparring with Jermell Charlo so he can push them like they in the championship rounds. So fighting Errol Spence, it's a long day. Then 36-2 Danny Garcia, a brilliant counterpuncher, might be the best counterpuncher out right now. Errol beat him from pillar to post. He looked like he ran out of gas in the last 2 rounds, but he gave Danny the worst whooping of his career. And then your Danis Ugas, a man who arguably beat Sean Porter, who beat Ray Robinson, who beat Omar Figueroa, who came over here from America 4 times facing life and death. Your Danis Ugas, a man with a will of iron. Errol broke him. And even when Errol broke him, the man still didn't want to quit. And all these fights added on to the legacy and the skill of Errol. And Errol continued to grow after each fight and take on the attributes of the fighters that he fought against. Terrence Crawford, he can't take on the attributes of the fighters that he fight against because Terrence Crawford is more skilled in every area than the fighters that he's fighting. So what would he take? It's like going to the junkyard when you stay in Bel Air. Like anything that you take is going to bring your property value down. So Terrence Crawford can't do that with the opponents he fight. While Errol fighting quality competition, he's done took the best of every fighter. Now he's the man with motherfucking many styles. Like he's done took everybody's style. And when Terrence Crawford goes against that, he's going to see Errol's going to absorb his style after the fight as well.